it's not a fringe, weird position, theologumenal stuff. No, church fathers go all the time through the Old Testament and say, hey, that's Christ.
Now, other people commented on this. Some other commentators have done a response, and the Thomas Aquinas mentions that there's traces of the Trinity in the Old Testament. This is not talking about the Catholic idea of traces of the Trinity in the Old Testament. This is specifically about theophanies in time and space, particularly the angel of the Lord. And it's not always just a theophany of a body who is wrestling. What does it say in Genesis 32? It says at the end that when he struck his hip, well, it says that Jacob saw the ladder of God, right, ascending into heaven. Is that 28, I think? Yeah, so in 28, Jacob sees, when he lays his head down, he sees this vision of the ladder of God. That's the, spiritual ladder. It's verse 17-ish. I'm trying to go back between Septuagint and right here. In Masoretic text. Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, surely God is in this place. Now, wait a minute. How is God in this place if God is not in time and space? But no, he actually is interacting with the theophany of the Lord. You understand this argument refutes Roman Catholicism. All of Roman Catholicism can fall on this point. Do you understand that? Do you remember the Thomists that called in, arguing with me, and I kept going to Leviticus 9, the glory of the Lord appearing in time and space? And they all admit that the glory of God is not a creature. Uh-oh. Now what? They have to admit essence energy distinction in our position, or else they're going to be Muslims. Look, what does it say right here? Jacob awoke. Surely Yahweh is in this place. How awesome is this place? This is none other than the house of God and the gate of heaven. And let's go to 32, where he wrestles. I wonder who this is. I'm amazed these Roman Catholics don't. This is how biblically illiterate the Roman Catholics and the Thomists are. If they would get their head out of the dry, boring Aquinas stuff and put their face in the Bible, they might actually know some of this. Jacob said, tell me your name. Who are you, this angel that I've wrestled with? Why is it you ask about my name? Where have we heard that before? Judges 13. What does the angel of the Lord say to Manoah? Why do you ask my name, seeing as it is wonderful? Why do you ask my name? Why do you ask my name? It is wonderful. Who does Isaiah identify as wonderful? Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God. The one whose name is wonderful is not Michael or Gabriel. It's the Son of God. The Son of God. The Son of God that Job saw. I saw one like a Son of God. Tell me your name. It is wonderful. Jacob called this place Peniel. I have seen God face to face. Imagine seeing that, and going with the Jewish Muslim argument that the created being there was an angel. God doesn't share his glory with creatures. Unless we're talking about theosis. You don't get to be called Yahweh if you're a creature. And yet we're told that Yahweh turned his face to Gideon when the same angel of the Lord appears to Gideon. The same angel of the Lord. Now you've read all this, right? Who does Jesus identify himself as in John 1? Well, it's actually Nathanael. Nathanael says, I saw you, and are you the King of Israel and the Son of God? John 1:49. Jesus said, because I said to you, I saw you under the fig tree, do you now believe? You will see greater things than this. Most assuredly, I say to you, you shall see heaven open and the angels of God ascending and descending upon the Son of Man. Oh, what is that? That's exactly what Jacob saw. when he had his vision of the Logos. Jacob identifies the angel of the Lord as the ladder of God upon whom the angels are ascending and descending. And the Roman Catholics can't figure out that this is Jesus. This is how pathetic and heterodox the papal cult is. It really is this bad. You wonder why I'm so vicious and vehement against the Roman Catholics. They're robbing you of your best argument against Muslims and Jews. These idiots. Genesis 28, 12 to 13. Jacob's ladder, where he sees the angels ascending and descending. When he sees the angel of the Lord, and Jesus tells you right there who it is. And the Roman Catholics say, no, Jesus, that's not you. I know better because Thomas Aquinas, my cult leader, told me that that's not you. Now that we can go through 20 other passages in Genesis. But if you want a longer exposition, I've already done every passage in the Torah, except for the one I missed, which I mentioned later on, of a theophany. Let me give you just one more because the Roman Catholics really struggle with Leviticus 9. Remember, God's glory is not a creature. We all admit this. So even if it's not the case, but even if we threw out all these examples of the angel of the Lord, what are any of these Roman Catholics going to do with this passage where it says Aaron lifted up his hands toward the people, blessed them, and came down from the offering of the sin offering and the burnt offering and the peace offerings? Aaron and Moses went into the tabernacle meeting and came out to bless the people. And then the glory of the Lord appeared to the people, and fire came out from before the Lord and consumed the burnt offering. And they all fell on their face. Now, wait a minute. Is the glory of God a creature? How is it appearing to all the people if God does not equate his glory to a created thing? Remember when I asked this to the Thomists that were calling in and they all lost their mind and just flipped out? Do you think this is the only theophany? There's multiple more in Deuteronomy, in Numbers, in Leviticus. So they just don't know what the Bible actually says. They're like Muslims and Jews because Jews follow the Talmud. And for the Thomists, Thomas is their Talmud. St. Talmud Aquinas. How's that? Talmud Aquinas. There you go.